All right.
Hey, Ryan, I cannot hear you.
Yeah, you can, because I have to hit unmute. You know, how many times in this last year have we said the phrase, "You're on mute"?
How many times?
I seem to say it in every single call that I'm on, and yet there I was doing it to you and anyone who's listening. By the way, if someone is listening, I've not yet figured out how to see if you see us. So if you're there, leave comments in the chat and we will talk to you that way. How you been this week?
I'm doing good. It's starting to cool off here, but we got out on the canoe a couple more times before the cold really comes in. So that's been nice.
Yeah, we had a freeze last night or the night before here, but it's Colorado. It's going to be in the like 70s today. So who knows what's happening, but I know that I am not in my RV and won't be for at least another few weeks, which is kind of annoying.
We'll have to get you out to the East Coast when the weather's nice again.
Yes, we will. We're planning on it next year. We're going to head that way, but not till it's warmer, because I am not going to go and get stuck in boatloads of snow and nasty, cold, freezing rain.
It's not worth it. There's nothing to see that time of year anyway.
I agree. So let's go ahead and dive in. Like, we've got 3 parts to the program. We've got a rave part where we're going to share and review ads that we've found over the course of the last week, things that we thought were interesting about it, and things that maybe need improvement about it. We're also going to do a review where we're going to talk about websites and review some messaging that we have found. And then we wrap up where Erica basically quizzes me and asks me questions that I can't possibly answer. But it's like a guess the brand type game, which I am currently 0 for 1.
And I've got 2 of them for you this week, so your odds will be a little bit better.
Yeah, you're just trying to accelerate my 0 percentage. That's what you're doing. All right.
So should we rave? Yeah, let's rave.
Yeah, so with that, let's go ahead and let's do the rave. Do you want to share first?
I do, and I have 1 ad for you and 2 emails this week.
All right, let's do it. Share away.
Let me know when you can see my screen.
I got you. I'm going to turn it on. There we go. Oops. On and off. There we go. When you click things, they go on and off. It's amazing.
And I'm going to start with the ad here because it's eye-catching. Like, you can see it in the left here already. I saw these. It's for McDonald's mobile ordering platform, and they're trying to attract people to it. Obviously, these phones look like fries.
They do.
And then the other one, you've got, come on now.
Hey, nothing good. Everything can't go perfect on live TV.
It's completely frozen. But the ad, let's see if we can pull it up.
There you go. This is like that moment when the weather person goes, "Oh, wait, the green screen just disappeared. I'm not sure what's happening now."
Yeah.
I do like the way they made the phones fries. That's pretty. It's clever. It catches your eyes, but it's clever in a smart way, not just like clever for the sake of being clever.
Yeah, and this one, it's a Big Mac. I think this one looks like an Egg McMuffin. Over here on the right, you can't really see it. It's not that big. But I thought this was neat, and it made me think a lot about the business owners I'm working with, the way that visuals can be used. I feel like a lot of the time we see people jump to the obvious choice when it comes to a visual. So the obvious choice here would have been like someone at home on their couch or on the go, looking at their phone, ordering McDonald's from their phone, which is fine, but it's the thing, number one, we expect to see, and we don't necessarily have a positive reaction to that. It's almost a neutral reaction. With this, even if you're just lightly chuckling to yourself, you're having that positive association with the brand. And you're probably more likely to go, oh yeah, they have that mobile ordering thing now. Maybe I'll check it out next time that you want McDonald's. I had McDonald's yesterday, by the way, and it was amazing.
Well, I can tell you, my kids, when they discovered the mobile app, like there were incentives where you get free fries or something like that. Like they're really good once you get into the app at enticing you to go visit.
I wish you hadn't told me that.
I'm telling you, be warned. But I do like the way it's clear. Like the one on the right looks like an Egg McMuffin.
Yeah.
So that's pretty smart. I like it.
Yep.
What else you got?
Well, let's see if it'll let me open it. I'm going to try refreshing this.
I don't have any refreshing music moments, but we can find some. I just have to make sure we license it properly.
So this one was an email.
All right.
It's not going to load.
Oh, you're using the PC, aren't you?
Here we go.
This
is an email from Trello that I got. The
Okay.
messaging itself is a bit flat. It's nothing special, right? And you've probably seen brands do this before. 10 podcasts to add to your playlist was the subject line. But the reason I liked this and the reason I pulled it to show to you this week is, number one, I opened it. So that right there tells you something. Something was working about the way they decided to design this email. Mm-hmm. I think it's worth pointing out that even though you can be a brand, you can have your message, you can have all of this positioning, you don't always have to talk about specifically those things. You can talk about things that orbit the thing you do or the people you do it for. So in this case, yeah, I'm a leader. Yeah, I'm going to want to listen to some neat podcasts. I'm always looking for new things to put in my mind so that I become a better leader, right? Right. So this was just a really neat way for them. They're building their authority. They're building a connection with their audience without saying anything about project or task management.
Right. I like it.
Yeah. One more email for you.
All right. Emails. You seem to be opening a lot of emails. Does that mean emails work? Because, I hear email marketing is dead. What do you think?
I don't think it's dead. I think I've bought some stuff off of emails in the past few months, and I'll continue to do so.
Yeah. I mean, here's a way. I mean, think about it. Like if somebody downloads something from your website as a way to capture an email address, and then you never speak to them again, when you do decide to speak to them, are they going to even remember who you are? Mm-hmm. Like email is the way to stay in touch with people. It's the way to communicate when they're not on your website. So, and clearly it works because this is the second email we're going to look at. Well,
and I'll tell you, the email I'm going to show you is actually for someone who I'm already a client for. And her emails are so good and her content is so good that even though I'm paying her to give me advice, I'm paying her to help me with my business, I still want to read her emails because it's that much of a value add with the thing that she sends. So the subject line was, if you can see it up here, it might be blocked. What you should be looking for during fourth quarter. And as a business owner, of course, my ears pricked right up when I read that. But rather than, what I like about is this headline she's got here, how to end the year with more money. She didn't just say, check out our checklist for things to look for in the fourth quarter, which she would have just been repeating that first subject line. Right. She built on the conversation and she spoke to a benefit, end the year with more money, which of course, who doesn't want that? Of course, I'm going to click this button and read more and figure out, what she has to say to me. And I can tell you, her advice is amazing. If you're not on this newsletter, subscribe, check it out. And she did not pay me to say this. It's really great stuff. But this was another email that caught my eye this week.
Yeah. So one thing about that headline that's different than what you would see most of the time at this time of year is it doesn't say anything in that headline about taxes. Right. Most people are like, oh, top 5 things you need to do between now and the end of the year to save money on taxes. Like that. I mean, yeah, taxes are important. And you're going to pay them and, you know how it is as a business owner, right? But to end the year with more money doesn't say anything about taxes, even though she's probably going to talk about taxes in there. But I like the fact that it's not just only about taxes because most of the time that's what you see from people this time of year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or it's stuff with jack-o'-lanterns and skeletons. Can you hear that outside? Everything is going wrong today. I've got like a waste management truck right outside my window.
Hey, it all happens. It's all good. It's live. It's what it is. This is the world we live in now. We have trash trucks that come by our windows and interrupt our live streams. Just think 3 years ago, 2 years ago, this nobody would have been doing this anyway. So there you go.
There you go. I'll let you steer for now, and
all right.
hopefully they're gone soon.
Okay, so here is, I'm going to share this, and here is the first ad I'll show you. So before I tell you what this is, just take a guess. What do you think it is? And now your volume is gone. I don't know where
So all I see is blocks of color. So I'm thinking maybe it's an app that will pick colors for me from an image that I share.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So excellent. You figured it out. It is for an app. Notice though at the bottom it's kind of hard to see. Maybe let me view screen in here. Swipe up to view website. Those were the only words on this ad.
And I think it's worth pointing out, you and I are the perfect target audience for this kind of thing because we're constantly creating and making pieces of communication. But for someone who doesn't do any design work or think in this space, they'd be like, there's something wrong with this image. It's probably an error.
Yeah. So maybe their targeting is right. And they just make the assumption that, people in our audience will know what this is. I had no clue. I literally had to click on it to find out. Like my first thought when I saw this was, what are those bars hiding? Like who's the person behind those bars?
Who's been censored?
So there's some curiosity that's there, and it did make me swipe up, but also because I knew I was going to show this one today, I swiped up. But otherwise, I just want to pass this one on because there's nothing here to tell me why I would need or want this.
I wouldn't swipe through, I can tell you that. Like if it's not telling me a little bit about what it's going to be, even though I'm assuming what it is, I'd be like, plus there's plenty of tools that already do this. So it should tell me the benefit right away. Like why would I use this tool out of all the other color pickers?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. I agree. That's why I picked this one. I was like, this makes no sense to me.
Plus honestly, I would pick a much more colorful picture. This is pretty bland.
Yeah. Something more vibrant that pops out, kind of like the McDonald's colors.
Maybe those. Yeah.
All right. So the next one that caught my eye was this one. Tell me if you can guess what this is.
Maybe a deodorant.
Ha! That's exactly what I thought. It was deodorant. Because who says things like fall can be a beautiful time of year for many? For others, it can be a vulnerable time of gradually impending darkness. Just read those sentences? What do you think? Like, what are you thinking about this now? Deodorant that's scary?
I'm going to get happy through my armpits. I'm honestly wondering why you're receiving this ad. Do we need to have a conversation? Are you doing okay? Like, why are they targeting you?
So here's the thing. This is not deodorant. This is tea.
Got it.
Wouldn't it make more sense just to have a picture of a cup of tea? And why would you talk about impending darkness?
Does it perk you up or something?
I don't know. I only followed it through because I wanted to know what it was. Because the image, even if you zoom in on the image, like you can see it does say caffeine free. Okay. But there's deodorants out there that are starting to say caffeine free, ammonia free, like all this free stuff. Uh-huh. And then you have to zoom in really, really far, which you cannot do on your phone, by the way, to see that it says special leaf.
Let me read the language below this again. I just want to see. Beautiful.
As we all know.
It almost sounds like a mental health app. It sounds.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about this too. As we all know from our time living with the wellness industry, like that sentence doesn't even make sense to me.
Maybe a bot or a piece of AI wrote this ad.
If so, they need a new system. Yeah. So this one, like there's so many different things they could have done with this. Like if this is truly tea, show a picture of people enjoying tea. And then down below, just give me one benefit of why this tea is good. Like, why would I want it? What's it taste like? What's its flavor?
It has an ingredient that helps with like seasonal depression. if that's what they're playing at here.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Tell me the problem that this might help me solve, or the thing I might be experiencing where this is going to like relax me, if that's in fact what it does. And I would assume so because it's caffeine free.
Yeah.
But I think big swing and a miss here, but it did capture my attention because I asked myself questions with these, like, what is that? Like, why would I want this? And this one does not help me at all. Again, raving. We're raving, not in a positive way this time. Here's the next ad. Tell me what you think this ad is about.
I'm seeing a dog, what looks like a laptop stand in the background, and maybe a little telescope.
Yeah. All those things are factual. You see all of those things.
Yeah, but I'm stumped with this one. So
this one is about this. Let's see if this will work. This is about, you can't see it, I need a different color. Hold on. It's about this thing right here, which is a portable power system.
No wonder you're seeing this. You're an RVer. That makes total sense. So
it's apparently powering the telescope, the laptop, and the dog.
It's powering that dog.
Yeah, I think for some reason people think if they put a dog in an ad, like everybody will just stop scrolling immediately. But the whole thing is like there's nothing here to tell me what this ad is about. Nothing.
It seems oddly placed too. Like I'm obviously in like a fenced in yard area. Like just go inside and use your laptop.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, another big swing and a miss. But I think here's the thing. I actually looked it up. I think this thing is probably really valuable to the right kinds of people. But it's like you wouldn't even know this ad is about that. Again, people are paying money, wasting money to put this stuff in front of you, and they're not even telling you what it is or why you would need it.
Let me ask you this, right? Because we've talked a little bit about dwell time on LinkedIn, and if someone's spending more time on your post, it's more likely to show up, right? It's going to have some more visibility.
Yeah.
Could they be playing with that here, or do we think this is completely unintentional?
Well, I'll say maybe, but the truth is, though, I don't know what this is, so I'm just going to scroll right past it.
Mm-hmm.
But the only reason I stopped on it is because I knew I wanted to use it for today.
Right.
Otherwise, I just flipped right past it. So now the next ad is two things. It's the power of Facebook spying on you, but it also worked for me because it just happened that my wife and I told you about this one, Erica. My wife and I were talking about webcams because she has a really bad webcam. So I saw this one, which clearly was not formatted for an Instagram ad. Right? So that's a miss, but it does have a picture of the product, and you can look at it and go, oh my gosh, that's a webcam. And my wife and I were just literally talking about webcams. So me being the geek I am, I'm like, ooh, AI powered. I don't know. Like I can see the 080p. So I know that's 1080p, even though it's truncated. So it made me swipe. And I looked and I went, oh, that is interesting. There was like a 50% off sale. So of course, you know me, I went out and I was like 50% off. It's super cheap now. Let's just try it and see what it looks like. So I did. And this is what the camera looks like if you buy it. So
not bad. Is this your way of telling me to get a better webcam? I know my picture could be much more clear.
No, not necessarily, unless of course you feel that way. But what I am saying is this ad is pretty effective and the camera itself is not bad either. I mean, it works pretty well. But I also think for those of you who are thinking about webcams, lighting, first try to get better lighting before you go out and buy a new webcam. But this one, in this case, it works. I think it works pretty well.
Have you used Anker products before? My vertical mouse, which I've had forever.
Yeah, yes. Them. I have a chart. That's the reason why I knew, even like it says Anker official at the top, and it says Anker on the camera. And I have used Anker for many different things, so I had some trust, if you will, with the brand anyway. And then when I saw it was like 50% off and super cheap, I just thought, well, why not? I'll try it and see if it works, because I can take it with me in the RV. It's a lot
Right.
A lot easier to carry than some of the other things I'm carrying. Hey, it looks like somebody named Andy has joined in on the chat, and he's talking about a join button, and he found me through the feed. So, Andy, welcome to the program. Unfortunately, I can't see your chats. I don't know how to make that stuff work yet, but I will figure it out.
We'll figure it out for sure.
All right, so let's see. Next one up, and this one I really liked.
Yeah.
Super clear, brand noticed. I love the use of the word imagine, because imagine has magical features to it, which is as soon as you hear it, you do it. And if this is a problem that you're struggling with, like, you're going to know it. Like, most people who are thinking about mobile cart conversions and all that stuff, they have numbers and things in their mind, and they know whether or not they're above or below that 91% number.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. You know, what could you do if you saved more money this quarter? The email we just looked at, or how to end the year with more money. Like, I'm picturing all of the things I could do if that became a reality. If this ad said, imagine if you could hire more people and buy new equipment, like, okay, but what?
Right.
It boils down to my pain point.
100%. Yeah. I think Shopify nailed it with this one. This one's spot on.
Yeah, love it.
Okay, last one. Will lead us into the last section. Is this ad that I came across? I will not tell you why it made me stop.
I mean, the ice cream would make me stop.
Yeah, of course. That's exactly why I stopped. Oh, that looks good. So I stopped, and then I read the headline. Make your own freeze-dried food. But look at the tagline. I love the thing that they say down here.
I'm enjoying this. Billionaires may go to space, but anyone can eat like an astronaut.
Because astronauts do what? They eat freeze-dried food. Right? So I was like, oh, wow, I love it. It's telling me what I can do with it. It's telling me what it is. And it's associating food with astronauts.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool.
It's fun.
This, yeah, it was fun. And like I said, come on, the image, like, how can you not like that, right? So that ad.
Why do you think you're seeing that ad? Do you think it's because you're an RVer and you might, like, they think you might want to pack that food with you, or are you guys secretly like survivalist people that I didn't know?
I think it's because I am totally screwing up Facebook's algorithm by clicking on all these different types of ads so that I can show them in this show. And then also with the new iOS 15, if you click "Don't follow me around," like, Facebook literally doesn't know what to send you. It tries to learn. So it just sends you all kinds of random stuff. But also I think it's because I'm clicking on a lot of things that are just outside of my norm. And so they don't know what to send me. But that ad, make your own freeze-dried food, I thought, oh, that's interesting. I want to see more. So I did go ahead and take a look at their website. So let us now move into the next segment, which is reviewing website copy and content. Now, before I show this, Erica, you've not seen it, correct?
Not yet. No. What's about to happen here?
So, I'm not going to tell you my thoughts at this point about this yet, because I want to get yours first. But I will tell you something once I bring this up.
Let me get this straight. You don't like the game at the end, right? You don't like getting the answers wrong, but you're like, I'm going to show you this website. I'm not going to tell you, and you're playing a game right now.
Well, it's my way to play the same game with you without actually about it. All right, so here's the site that if you click on the little ice cream bars, here's the site that it takes you to, and this is what it looks like today.
Shipping.
What are your thoughts?
There's a lot. It's very busy.
Yeah.
It's very, very busy. The navigation feels pretty simple, right? Products, why freeze dried, benefits, shop. Although I feel like benefits and why freeze dried, that's the same conversation.
Yeah.
Yes, it looks like a front load dryer.
Okay.
Right out of the gate. So I'm immediately thinking, where the heck would I put this thing? But
yeah. So let me ask you this: if you just landed on this page today for the first time, would you know what it's about just from what you're seeing?
If I hadn't seen that ad, no.
Okay. Yeah. So a little secret. I wish I would have screenshotted it now. This said, when I clicked on that ad and came to this site last week, this said, if you like, what are the other ways you can do? What are like drying your food? It's not freeze dried. What are the other ways you can do it? Like canning your food or something else. So it was very clear. Like I can't even remember now what it said, but it was very clear who it was targeting. Because it said, hey, if you like canning your food or doing something else, there was like two very distinct groups of people, audience that they were targeting with this. And then afterwards it said, you'll love freeze dried food.
Yeah.
So it went right after who their audience was. And it said, this is what we are.
Yeah, I can tell you, I still don't know why I would use this thing. I don't have a garden, but if it said, if you garden, if you love canning your food, there's, 5-6 people in my head. I start thinking, oh, I should probably send them this. It's really cool. They'd love it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the voice I use when I'm talking to myself in my head.
So I personally think what they should have done was this whole free shipping. That should just be a banner right up at the very top that says, hey, get special spooky savings, instead of taking up the hero section where you have the opportunity for people who don't know who you are. Don't make them think. Like keep the headline you had before, let them know at the top in a banner that you have special savings, you can save money. And then it's a little bit more palatable. But right now it's just like, if I just came here, I would guess it's about freeze dried, but I still don't know why I would be here based on the hero section.
Yeah. And I want to know how it works. I'm really curious to know if it's easier to freeze dry than it is to can.
Okay. So let's scroll down. So I think there's a big miss on the hero section now. Last week, it was not. This week, they've chosen to put this there, and I don't think that works. So as we scroll down, you start to see that they can, they're describing what the machine can do and how it works.
Fountain of youth for food. I like that. That's cute.
Yes, I thought I saw that too. That was more prominent last week. That was a headline last week. Like they've changed it, and I think they've made it not as effective as it was last week. One of the reasons I wanted to talk about this was the hero section, but because it was really good and is not now. But also this next section, like they're calling out people. Freeze drying fits every lifestyle. So do you have one of these lifestyles? Right. So preppers, gardeners, people who camp or hunt. If you store food, so like if you can food, this image is going to make you go, oh, I want to know more about that.
Yep.
So these images show what you can do with their product and how you can use it, and also calls out the avatar too. Who's the audience? It calls them out too. So I think they do a really good job with imagery.
Yep.
And calling out their audience here. And then the other thing that is down here that I liked was this piece.
Mm-hmm.
I think it needs to be further up, but this piece. Now, what I don't like about what we're looking at here is there are so many learn more buttons here. It's just too much.
Yeah, I'm wondering between that section and the section above, like I'm going to get lost in the guts of this website really quickly.
Yeah.
And still not really have a sense of how, unless those all go to the same page, right? But unless I still want to know how this bad boy works.
Yeah. So here, I would move this up too. I'd put it right below the hero section, benefits. Here's the thing I like about this. These are not only benefits, but they answer questions.
Yeah.
Like they're taking care of objections that somebody might have. Freeze drying, but isn't it going to taste bad? Well, guess what? No. The food maintains its flavor and freshness. Well, what about shelf life? It doesn't last forever. Well, wrong, up to 25 years. So they've taken objections that they probably hear often, and they flipped them so that they're now benefits based, which is really smart.
Yep.
I just think they should have not had all these learn more buttons on here because as you said, it's going to get you into the website too fast. And you need to keep me focused on, I want to buy your thing. Right. So I also, like, if I were redoing the site, I would move this down. I would move this up. So we're immediately taking care of benefits and answering some objections. I would put this section below it. And then I would talk about the freezer. So I rearrange this so that I'm telling, because you got to think when you know, in my viewpoint, when we design websites, we're actually you're trying to have a conversation with the person who's viewing it. And we're trying to answer the questions in their mind as they scroll down the site.
Let me ask you this. Would you click on the top nav for me? Is this the type of navigation where it's just going to jump me down the page? Or, okay. Because, with benefits, it's like I would want that to just bring me to the benefits there. I don't know why I need a whole separate page for it, too.
Let's see. I don't know if it will. I can tell you, I can see the link it's going to go to, and it's going to take me to a new page. But you're right. Just zip me right down. And I think they have, like, this is kind of busy. There's a lot of information here. It's busy. It's too compact, too close together. I do like some of the headlines and things that they have, but I think they need to spread it out more. It just feels really cluttered on this page to me. It's cluttered and it feels like a lot of stock, whereas that video up top feels amazing and real to me. Mm-hmm. Like I am seeing it in use or in, things are being produced. Yeah. I wish that these photos were all, budget's budget, right? You can never get perfect brand photography all the time, but I think that'd be much more powerful here. These kind of feel like I've seen them 100 times before. Yeah. Yeah. And then again, just menu. So many choices to make. How much does this cost? I want people to say, tell me how to buy it. If I'm into it, if you set this up right and people are into canning and this other stuff, they want in. Yeah. So that's why this one I think is really important to put down lower. So tell me the benefits first, answer some of the objections I'm going to have. Then see how I can use it. Like, because this question answers, is this right for me? Mm-hmm. Then you can move into, here's the deal, here's the thing. Because this is the fountain of youth for food, which is what I would use as a headline, not one smart machine. And then it does move into down here, which one's right for me. So you see they're not cheap. Yeah. And then when you're doing that, that's cool. Give me some testimonials and then tell me, like, I love this section. Here's how it works. It's simple. At that price point, I really would expect to see sleeker visuals. Like, this is a higher end purchase for something that's a non-necessity in a lot of ways. I really would expect to see just sleek, modern visuals of the product in use or people enjoying the food that they've created. Yeah, another thing I noticed too, this is download our free guide. I want to see a picture of the guide. I didn't even notice that. That's the thing. There's so much green and white, and there's so much text on these pages. I would have never have noticed it. I would also move this way down to the bottom. That might be down there. We'll go look. But I don't want people to download my guide. I want them to buy my product. Right. And this should probably say, if this is the one I want, let's just click it and see. Like, this should not say shop now. It should buy now. Let's go see if it takes me. Pump the brakes a minute, though. The title of that guide, too. Okay, there you go. Intro to freeze drying. If I'm just getting started with freeze drying, I'm probably not dropping. The most expensive one is almost $4,000. I'm probably not even dropping $2,000 on this. So I think they would want to rethink that lead magnet. And, what is, someone who's experienced in canning and freeze drying, what do they need help with? Yeah. How do you go from canning to freeze drying? Yeah. Something like that. Especially if I'm kind of experienced with this, I'm like, why are they hawking me an intro guide? Like, do they really know what they're talking about? Is this machine going to be worth the investment? Right. It's creating question marks for me. Yeah, I love that. That's a good point. Shop now should be buy now because it takes you directly to the place where you can add a cart.
Yeah. What was the other page? I'm sorry, I did interrupt you.
There's their guide. So super small in the footer, make it bigger, like let people know what it is. I agree, it's probably not the right one for what they're selling, but make it bigger, get it out of the footer. What was your question?
You were showing me the product page before when I went down
Right
the guide rabbit hole.
Yeah, if I click there, it takes you to, okay, I can buy it. So I wouldn't know this, like I wouldn't know if I need an oil pump, a Premier pump, or an oil-free pump. In fact, I don't know what that is. So for me, I would just start to have questions right away. I'd be like, oh, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah.
Let's see if they answer it anywhere. Nope. Like I don't know the difference. I don't know why I would want one of these. Maybe the info thing tells me. Easy to use, low maintenance. Industrial grade. Easy to use, low maintenance. Easy to use, no maintenance. So basically, they're all the same. Why would I give you an extra $1,500 for an oil-free pump when an oil pump is also easy to use with low maintenance?
Really good point.
Let's see if I click
sizes, like it's like t-shirts.
Oh, look, yeah, it totally gets bigger as you do it. Look at that. It grows. It like eats one of the mushrooms from the Mario games and it just gets bigger.
And like, we're being snarky here. I am still really intrigued by the product. Like there are questions, there is curiosity that still isn't being addressed for me here. So as much as I'm making jokes, like I do want to know more about this. You know, who doesn't want to save on their grocery bill?
What kind of questions should we have? What kind of questions would you recommend they have here? Or at least answer 2 questions. Let's put it that way.
So this blurb, right, the home freeze dryer, I think maybe right below that price, before they get to the features and options, blurb that addresses like if you have a household of this many to this many, or you have a garden of this many acres, the home freeze dryer is going to be right for you.
Yep, love it. Love it. Because like 4 to 7 pounds of food? I have no idea. I get now. Here's the thing: I'm not their target customer. So if I'm canning or doing some of these other activities, I might know exactly what 4 to 7 is. So that could be language that their audience understands.
Yep.
But you're not going to attract necessarily brand new people to freeze drying if you're not answering some of those questions that you just pointed out.
Yeah.
So,
and I want to know. I don't know. I want to know if this machine's faster than other freeze drying machines that I might have tried. Like I know nothing about freeze drying, but if I'm having to wait significant time, I'm probably going to be less likely to do it. Or if other machines have like little replacement trays or something I have to buy each time, and this one is completely reusable, that's going to be really enticing to me.
Yeah. I mean, what I know about freeze drying right now is that astronauts eat it. Again, if you'd have seen the headline they had last week, you would know. I would have known right away. This isn't targeted at me. They're trying to convert people from other forms of saving your food to this. But also, if you want to bring new people in, you need some messaging around benefits of it. Why would I need it? How am I going to use it? Some of this stuff is good here. I like it, but if I'm not an emergency prep person, a garden person, if I don't camp or hunt or store food, or like, where is the newbie stuff?
Can you scroll up really quickly? I just noticed the little up. Right in the middle there, check out our videos. Is that just a page of videos that we get directed to?
It is. It's a video gallery. It's a galleria of videos.
This reminds me, I can't remember which website it was last week, but they had all the right parts and pieces, but they just weren't organized as well as they could have been. And I feel like this is the same in that, like, even having one of those videos on the product page to explain things to me, like this is probably all the information I just messaged or just asked for, and it's all hiding here. Which if I hadn't noticed that, and how many times have we looked at that homepage now? 3 or 4. I just now noticed that there was an archive of videos I could dig into.
Oh, look, there's even different kinds of them. We didn't even talk about these yet, which are not. It's not visible on the front page. I don't know that. you just sparked a thought. Let me go here again on this page. So what if, to your point, you had a video here showing this in use, how it would be used. And then also, I'm going to scroll before I say it. I don't see any testimonials on this page.
Right.
Over here, your garbage man.
Yeah.
Right? Give me a testimonial that applies to this one so I can read it and go, oh, wait, hey, that's me. Help me put myself in that position. Video would be good. Testimonials would be a good ad here too.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the ad worked. It got me to click on it. It brought me to a page that had, honestly, better hero section messaging last week than it does this week. I still think it does an overall good job. It just needs to be, in my opinion, reorganized so that it it tells the story or has a conversation with me as I scroll down the page. What do you think?
It's definitely not a keep doing what you're doing, but between, time for some tweaks or a total revamp, it's somewhere between the two, if you ask me.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, stop sharing. Going to switch back over here. And now we go to segment 3, which is where you quiz me. And I fail miserably. That's been our recent history.
Yeah. So the way this works for anybody who didn't watch last week, I go and I look at websites and I'll pull pieces of language and Ryan's going to guess, it's multiple choice. Ryan's going to guess which brand the piece of language came from. And then we discuss, whether or not the piece of language was good, bad, somewhere in between. This week I did choose, I chose 2 pieces of language. Last week we only did 1. And I specifically chose pieces of language from well-known coaches because you and I, we work with a lot of coaches. We work with a lot of consultants. And I'm sure if any of them are watching now, it'll be helpful to hear us talk through how this language can work for your brand, especially when your personality and the brand are kind of one.
Okay, I am prepared. I am prepared to not guess right the first time.
Great. All right. So the first one, and this came from a homepage. The piece of language is master every area of your life. And your options are Brene Brown, Tony Robbins, and Jack Canfield. Master every area of your life.
All right, so I just wrote that down. All right, give me my choices again. I heard
Brene Brown, Tony Robbins, and Jack Canfield.
I don't know who Jack is.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to rule him out. Tony Robbins sounds kind of like him because he does help people with lots of stuff. Brene Brown does too. So it's between those two for me. And if I were to guess, I would go with Tony Robbins.
You got it.
Okay. Wow. Yes. For one.
Yeah. Tell me why you picked Tony.
So in truth, I know a little bit more about him than I do Brene Brown. But Brene Brown stuff to me, from what I do know, is really more like business focused, helping people get the right mindset around their business, leadership, that type of stuff. Whereas Tony Robbins, like he has people walk on coals, hot flaming coals. I don't see Brene Brown doing that. And walking on hot coals to me has really, I'm sure if he were on the show, he would tell me the exact reason why it matters to business. But to me, it's more about, life and overcoming mindsets and things like that than it is, hey, if you walk on hot coals, you'll be a better business leader.
Right. I hope, this doesn't upset people. I'm not necessarily a Tony Robbins fan, but I did like this piece of language because he attracts that audience where they're kind of type A achievers. And like they've got more of they resonate with like a boot camp mentality, like go, go, go. Yeah. And that word master felt so powerful and so aligned with the way that they want to move through the world. Whereas Brene's, to your point, she's more touchy-feely and warm. And the language on her site, I didn't pull any, but she's always like a little bit, I don't want to say softer because she's definitely got a steel spine. Right. But she's just warmer in that tone and the language that she chooses.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about when I was reading that, I was thinking about one of our past clients who is a Brene Brown certified person. Hi, Carrie. I'm not going to say the last name though, but I could if you want me to. But like even the language she used on her site didn't align with what you just said from a master I don't even remember it now. Master everything, every aspect of your life, something like that.
Yeah, master every aspect of your life.
Yeah, so I just Renee didn't make sense to me from that standpoint. So sweet, I'm 1 for 1.
1 for 1. You ready for the next one?
Oh, there's more. That's right.
Yeah, there's the second one.
Okay, so I've gone from 0 to 50%. You just want to try to knock me back down, but let's do it.
and this one, I'm realizing if you don't like readily recognize the names of any of these coaches, I will allow you to ask a couple questions about like what they do or what they talk about.
20 questions.
Yeah. You'll get 1 question for each.
Oh, just fun. Okay.
Okay. So no matter how small you start something that matters. And this was from an about page. No matter how small you start something that matters.
Okay.
Your options are Danielle Laporte, Brendan Burchard, and Marie Forleo.
So the second person I did, well, Brendan, I know. I think it's Marie Forleo.
Yeah, Forleo, yep.
B school.
And so which one are you choosing?
I'm choosing Marie.
It was Brendan.
Oh, dang it. Down to 33%. Yeah.
But I feel like that piece of language would work for Marie as well.
Yeah, she puts out a lot of stuff too. I haven't followed her in a while, but I know that when I do, like emails, she's a master at sending emails.
Prolific, completely prolific when it comes to content. And with Brendan, he reminds me of Tony, but he's like the sweet Labrador puppy version of Tony Robbins, where master every area of your life totally fits with Tony. And he, like Brendan's warm, encouraging. So he's like, no matter how small, just start something that matters.
Right.
That's completely who he is.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. He's got a lot of good stuff out too that helps you start something that would matter. So makes sense. Yeah. I was just like, I don't know. I was thinking Marie.
You did pretty good. You did good. The other thing that I'm thinking with these that you and I see so often with clients is a lot of business owners are tempted to quote the people that they learn from, or even just to quote well-known figures.
We're trying to
Yeah, but like here, you and I were pretty easily able to recognize which messaging went with the right person. So if I were to continually quote Marie Forleo, people would remember Forleo. They're not necessarily getting to know my voice and my brand. So like, it just goes to show like messaging is everything, even as something as small as just one little quote from your website. Like, why quote Abraham Lincoln when you could think of something you want to say yourself?
Yeah, I mean, there's a touched on it last week. There's a powerful thing called association where you can be associated and get authority and credibility, if you will, through an association. But where I see tell me if you see this too, but where I see a lot of people mess up is they, like when they run out of, like, I can't figure out what to say, they go to their competitor and they go, oh my gosh, it says it's so much like that. And then they just copy it, or they copy it and tweak it. But what they do when they do that is they forget that their audience might be different.
Yeah.
And those words may not make sense to them. Right. So, for example, you and I work together, but if we were complete and total competitors doing the exact same thing, you're going to have an audience that resonates with you, and I'm going to have an audience that resonates with me. It's just the way it works. Right. Yeah. So we can either be competitors, or we can just assume that there's an abundance of opportunity out there for us to help our people, whoever those people might be.
100%.
Because if I steal your language, I'm putting your language on my site that's not going to resonate with my people.
It would be like wearing each other's clothes. It's just going to look a little bit weird and off.
Good analogy. I like that. I'm going to borrow that someday and give you credit. But yeah, that's exactly like take it. Yeah, I love that because it's true. I take your words, I take your stuff from someone else's website that I compete against, and I put their clothes on. It's like Joey in that episode of Friends. Where he puts on all Chandler's clothes and it just doesn't look right. So It's a great analogy. I love it. Nice work. I'm
Thank
stealing
you.
that. I'm going to steal it and credit you is what I'm going to do.
Perfect. And then I can just be visible to your audience.
I love it. What else? Anything else? Is that our 2, or are we wrapping
You
up?
did it. You got 1 out of 2 right this week. And honestly, that second one was a trick question because I knew Marie and Brendan, they kind of have that same warm fuzzy brand going on. Marie's a little bit sassier. Brendan's a little bit more, like I said, bouncy. He's great. So they were really easy to confuse. And that's why I did that one that way.
All right. Well, I don't feel so bad. I went from 0% to 50% and then back down to 33.
You know what we should do with these? Every time you get one right, I have to buy you a beer next time we're in the same state, right? Every time you get one wrong, you have to buy me a beer.
Wow. Yeah, well, I can tell you at this rate, we're going to have to meet multiple times because you just won't be able to drink all the beers that I'm going to have to give you in one setting.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Well, that'll wrap us up then for today. And we'll do this again next week.
Yeah. See you next week. Thanks, Ryan. This was fun.
Yeah. I love it every time. So next week, get here fast.
Yeah.